Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Permanent Municipal Building Committee meeting for Wednesday, May 22nd. Steve is not going to be here tonight, so I got a text message asking me if I would chair the meeting. The warrant for tonight, Kirby, can you put that up? Where'd Kirby go?
There you go.
There we go. Oh, the
agenda.
The agenda. I can just read the warrant off if everybody's happy with that. The total warrant is 700 and okay, Kirby's got it there. $740,882.39. And okay, can you get out a little bit further, Kirby? No, the other way. The other way.
Just make it bigger.
Okay, the first one on the list is Vertex for $4,988.75. Go the other way, Kirby. The second one on the list is a Vertex again for $3,347.75. Brian, maybe you can tell us what the two different things are here.
Yeah, I believe what those are both for the 36 King Street renovation, one for February and I'm sorry, one for March and one for April.
Yeah, I see it on the sheet now. The next one is Vertex for $25,327.50, and that's for the senior center.
That's construction administration for the senior center, correct?
Yeah, and the next one is LLB Architects for $1,204.50. I believe that is King Street 2. The next one is $26,035, and that's for services for 36 King Street.
Right. That would be the yep. That would be the finalization of the design and the bidding process of getting the total project budget together.
Okay. The next one on the list would be LLB for $78.16, and that's design development.
That one, it's yes. That's they are closing out their design phase fees that they had for the senior center. The next would be the I'd have to look at how they coded it, but they are also into construction administration right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
The next one, the big one, is $653,231.73, and that's Commodore Builders. And the next one on the list is $8,869, and that is Professional Services Inc.
Yep. So that is our third-party tester for the senior center project. In order to avoid any markups, we went through a procurement period for third-party testing. We selected the lowest bidder, and we set up a PO system with the town so that the town could pay them directly rather than using us as a conduit and having to pay any type of charge or markup with that. So,
all right. Anybody got any questions on it?
No.
Need a motion?
Can you just be more specific about the 653? Can I just have, since we are voting on it, I just feel like that's the biggest number I've seen since we've been here.
Yep.
So I just want to at least ask what that's for.
Sure. If you don't mind, Bob.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, our contract, the town, is with Commodore Builders for the senior center project. This is for construction services rendered in April. So what this is, their requisitions that we send out as part of our invoice packet. It's probably about 70 or 80 pages long, and that is a sum of all of the subs that have done work to date. And we review all of that, and the cover sheet kind of sums up all of the subs put together for it. So this work is a reflection of general conditions for Commodore. A lot of this work has to deal with their site contractor who is doing the excavation and exporting of soils. There's a large sum for the concrete sub who finished their foundation walls, as well as all of the rebar, any of the structural foundation that was going through. The electricians and the plumbers have all mobilized. They've begun some underground work, as well as exterior drainage. Let me think if there's been any other ones that I can think of. Also, a lot of miscellaneous subcontractors will do some invoicing for preliminary mobilization, whether it's engineering or submittal work that they put on as well. So our team goes through the and I think you have it, Kirby, the invoice packet. And I know that we don't have time to go through all of it. Yeah. But if you did have any questions with it, Stacy, I'd love to go through it. I know you'll be going through the school one, which will be even larger. We can kind of show you how a monthly invoice is done on a monthly basis.
Okay, I appreciate the details. That was the biggest number I've seen, so I just wanted to make sure we had
sure.
A little bit
more. I would anticipate too, Stacy, once we're scheduled to have our steel delivered the first week of June. That's going to be a large number that we pay for once it's delivered and acknowledge that it's on site. So per their cash flow, I would anticipate that there may be a couple invoices that would be over $1 million by the end of this project for a month.
Okay, thanks for catching me up.
Yep.
Do we have a motion on the warrant?
I'll make a motion to approve the warrant for $740,882.39.
Second.
All in favor? Bartlett,
Bartlett, aye.
Mike,
Mike Skeeter, yes.
Stacy,
Stacy, yes.
and Bob Rama, yes. Motion pass. Steve let me know that he hasn't reviewed the minutes for 5/8/24, so he asked to table that for tonight. Shaker Lane School Feasibility Study. Stacy?
Stacy, you're muted.
Yep. Sorry, I had to unmute. So we are meeting with Studio G tomorrow for a kickoff meeting along with the MSBA. So that will be the Shaker Lane Building Committee as well as Studio G and MSBA for kind of like a summary kickoff. I think the goal for that is MSBA is going to be assigning us a specific consultant that we'll be working throughout this process. The only other update I have, and I don't have the full details just yet, I'll hopefully have them tomorrow, is that we were just in the final phases of negotiating the contract with Studio G, which is the architects. So I think the goal was to have them signed this week. So I think I don't have any updates other than that we're getting those contracts signed and we're having that kickoff meeting.
Stacy, where's the meeting and what time?
Ooh, the meeting, it's a Zoom meeting. Let me just look at my calendar real quick. I'm not sure if it's a public meeting, but I'll take it. It is on Thursday let me just get that off my calendar. I think it's tomorrow at 2.
I didn't get the message on it. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm not sure
What's
it
that?
went to everyone.
I think it's tomorrow at 2:30. I had it on my calendar. It must be in one of my other. Let me loop back to you on that. I have many different calendars on my schedule right now, so I'm clicking the right one.
Mike, you don't
Yeah.
think is that for all the building committee members or what?
I think Mark had said anyone's welcome to attend, but it was more for the people who are on the architect selection committee, I think.
Okay. High school roof. I got a email from Brian, and he's still waiting for the final punch list from Rockwell and the documents for the warranty and all the other incidents, the omissions or anything like that. And he got in touch with Rich Gorham, and he's on vacation. So that's kind of what's going on with that. Senior Center update, Brian.
Sure. We will have a monthly report for you at your next meeting, which I believe is going to be June 12th. We'll have that one for May, because we had our April one presented to you guys on the 8th. We've had some good progress. We've signed on some vendors like we talked about. We have our inspector, we have our commissioning agent on board right now. We are finished our foundations. Those have all been poured. We've done the interior spread footings, and we've begun construction of the elevator hoistway, which I believe we finished today, Mike, if we're correct with that, seeing the nod there. Our site contractor has also done all of their exporting of soils off the site. They're going to begin demobilizing off the site as they're kind of the bulk of their work for getting the building excavated out and poured is complete now at this point. So they'll get their equipment off site in order to make room for the steel that will be coming the beginning of June. We have our slab pour scheduled for the 30th or 29th of May. We are currently laying out, and if with permission, Bob, I'd like to just share a couple pictures.
Go ahead, Brian.
As you can see here, the elevator hoistway, they have a hydraulic lift that they brought in. I spoke with the owner. He hates putting up staging, so he brings this piece of equipment that's he thinks is a lot safer and quicker for his crew in order to do this work. They broke this down this afternoon to finalize that work. You can see the other spread footings in here that are being put in that will accept the steel delivery that is coming, like I said, on the first week of June. We also have a retaining wall here, and the retaining wall excavation, the retaining wall construction has already been completed as well. Couple other pictures that we can show. Like I had mentioned, we have some underground utilities. This would be electrical conduit that's coming up into where the electrical room is going to be. You can see some underground plumbing that's being excavated and installed. It gets capped off, and then it gets inspected by the plumbing inspector so that we can perform backfill activities after that. I did bring Mike with me. Mike, is there anything else you wanted to add?
The only other thing I would add to that is that the plumbing in the kitchen area has been inspected by the town inspector and it's passed. So that's been backfilled. So got a good chunk of it there. That's a large portion of the plumbing is in the kitchen area.
Good. One other thing I just wanted to add as well is we did, and I don't want to go too fast for everybody, but we did do our water tie-in. This was performed last week. So we had a shutdown on Shattuck Street for the residents down towards the opposite end away from Town Hall. We worked with Littleton Water. We got notifications out. We had Mike walk up and down the street, meet some of the neighbors, let them know what they could expect for the shutdown. I think it was down for about 3 or 4 hours. No issues there, backfilled, inspected. And so now we have water into the site now at this point. So those are our big milestones that we have coming up. We'll have our monthly report, and we are planning a topping off ceremony, which is the final beam that gets hoisted up into the air. We're working with the senior center to have that painted beam out on site so that members can come and sign the beam. We'll probably have lunch. So once we finalize the date and time, I think we're scheduling for roughly the last week of June. we'll let this committee know as well so that they can put it on their calendars if time allows, if they'd like to come and have something off the grill and sign the beam. So we do not have any change orders to share with anybody tonight, but I do want to bring up, excuse me. I do want to share just our PCO log on what we're tracking right now. The contractor has completed their coordination meetings of all of the building information modeling or the BIM modeling throughout. There has been some changes through the mechanical duct system, some of the locations of where the condensers are going to go, which is resulting in some small changes and some moderate changes as well. So those have not been officially submitted. We're not ready to recommend them to the committee because we're still kind of vetting them out. I did want to bring a few to your attention. We also went through the specs. We found that there was a significant amount of level 5 finish on the walls, which is a very high-end plaster finish. And so in talking with Liz and the way that she's going to operate this building, we're going to at least see for a credit on what that is. We do have numbers from their schedule of values. We anticipate that a number would come back at a credit to the town for around $90,000 for the finish of those walls. So once we receive that number, it's something we'll bring to the committee to see if it's something that they'd like to entertain. It doesn't seem like a pretty high number that would benefit the town coming back to. We also, Bob, to give you an update on the sprinkler system, we had a meeting with the building inspector about the need for some of the dry system outside at the canopy. We went through all the materials that are going to be outside. He has no problem with deleting the dry system that we have on the exterior. We anticipate that could come at a credit for around $25,000 back to the town as well. So we do have some ads, as you can see here. We're trying to work our way through things and ask the end user on things that maybe aren't needed or finding more efficiencies and trying to offset some of these ads. But I anticipate the next meeting we'll probably have some change orders to review that we've fully vetted for you guys to provide an opinion on or to provide approval on, and we would roll that into an amendment for Commodore's GMP. Any change questions at this point?
Mr. Chair? Bob?
Go ahead.
Brian, quick question for you. Are you going to a level 4 for your drywall finish? And then also,
Yes.
when are you planning to do your walk through for the floor conduits that you had
Yes.
asked about?
Thank you. So yeah, I sent that out, and the electrical sub was waiting a little bit for the site contractor to get out of the way. They're beginning that activity this morning, and they'll probably be going into early next week. And so my plan is I'm on site tomorrow for the day, and I was going to get an idea on when those would be ready to take a look at. And we did have a discussion about a floor box location in the multi-purpose room. We did not like the location based upon where the potential pickleball court's going to go. We will, we have a new location. We were told it's required by a state code. We have an area that's probably a little more, less conspicuous so that we can still have our floor box, but not interfere with any type of activities that'll be in that area. So to answer your question, Kirby, I think early next week, I'll have an answer for you tomorrow when I'm on site.
Very good. I just didn't know whether you had heard back from Mark as far as your comments.
Yes, I did.
Okay, very good. Then I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, all good.
Thank you.
So just to wrap that up, our contingency right now, we started with around $608,000. This is the owner's construction contingency. We've approved just under 35. And right now we have an estimate amount of around 70,000, which obviously still needs to be vetted by engineers and by us as the OPM before even recommending to you guys. So we're in a good position and in a healthy position on our contingency. And this doesn't reflect any of the contingency and allowances that we have within the Commodore's GMP that, if aren't used, would also get turned back over to the town at the end of the day.
Brian, you're also talking a save on the walls you were just talking about and the sprinkler system, right?
Yep, correct.
Anybody else got any questions? Okay, we'll move on to Indian Hill Arts Building.
Yeah. So last we spoke was the day after town meeting. We got our approval for the project to proceed. I sent a notice of award to Classic Construction that the town would be getting their paperwork in order. The contract is currently with the town administrator's office and town council. So that will be sent over to the contractor, we were told today, next week. We held a kickoff meeting this morning with the contractor, ourselves, and Ryan from the town administrator's office. Introduce ourselves, kind of go through project controls, how things are going to happen, putting our schedule together, schedule of values. I anticipate that we give a contract ready to sign next week, this time next week. And shortly thereafter, we will be issuing a notice to proceed. And so we're off and running at this point. We've the contractor will be getting their subcontractors on board, and I'd anticipate them mobilizing probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, being on site to begin this work. We did have in the contract that this work will take roughly around 8 months. I still have yet to see a contractor schedule, but that's our anticipation at this time. We've got the amendments in for both us and LLB for the construction administration. And I do have Mike on here as well. He's going to be helping out with some of the project management there, as well as our site manager that we're going to have at the senior center as well will be keeping an eye on there in order to kind of economize some of the OPM work for both projects. So yeah, that's it. It's good news. We're moving forward, and the contractor is ready to go. So,
Any questions, anybody?
we did discuss at the kickoff meeting today. I saw Alicia is on the call. We will include a rep from Parks and Rec as well as the school department to join our weekly meetings. If those do not work for them, we're more than happy to schedule something on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to catch people up to speed on where we are with the budget, what's being done, and any decisions that need to be made if there's any additional funds or changes that need to be made based on what happens once we get mobilizing.
Okay. No further questions. Move on to member input. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Bartlett,
No, I'm good, thanks.
Mike,
I'm all set.
with Stacy,
I'm good, thank you.
and I'm all set. Next meeting will be the 12th of June, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Bartlett,
Aye.
Mike,
Yes.
Stacy?
Yeah.
And myself. Meeting's adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.